Hey y'all, I'm Locklith, and this mosquito is a lot. It's waiting for me to stop this intro to sting me, unfortunately. But in today's video, I am finally going to tour Cardinal, my no items island. It's very natural, primary colors, all those types of things. But very quickly, like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you enjoy my content. Mosquito, please. But make sure you subscribe so you don't miss out on the things that I post here on my channel. I am avoiding this mosquito like the plague right now. Stop it. But anyways, yes, I'm going to be touring Cardinal, my no items themed island today, but I wanted to start this intro on Onigiri first with the lovely fireworks in the background for y'all. And to my left here, I'm going to add my card that includes my passport and the dream address for the island, for my island that I'm about to tour here shortly. This mosquito, please. So if y'all want to tour along with me, the code will be right there for you and also in the description box below. But let me quickly run away from this mosquito, dream of Cardinal, and I'll be right back, y'all. Okay, y'all, we are here on Cardinal, my no items natural themed island that I've been working on for the past year, actually, year and a month. So 13 months it has taken me from resetting the island to today to do this island tour. And most of the designing and putting the island together has been on streams, and there's been a lot more streams recently to finish off the island. So I am so happy to finally be finished and to showcase the full island for y'all today. And the fit that little Toru here is wearing, including the bear backpack, was all left behind for y'all to pick up and wear when you come visit. And it is kind of matching with my character, so if you see me running around, make sure you take a picture with me, of course. My character will have green hair though, but you will match with me when you come and visit the island. And this flag is the only custom code of mine that you will also see. I made this flag pretty much the first week when I first created the island, and it is a C in the center for Cardinal, and it is in the colors of the island as well, so it's all primary colors: blue, yellow, and red. And then that's also represented of a bird, a cardinal, in the center as well. And C for Cardinal. It is just a custom code that I usually make, is usually my flag, and sometimes I'll replace it and sometimes I will keep it till the end. And in this case, it kind of grew on me, and I think I am happy with it, and I'm keeping it as is. Now, outside of the outfit that you see here, you will also pick up a pennant, a light stick, a lemon cone, a ladder, and a vaulting pole. But I also have several items throughout the island that y'all can pick up and utilize, including tools as well. But let's get into it with the entrance, which is very natural, a lot of vines. Like I said, this is a no items island, so you will not see any regular furniture here. You will see things you can grow from seed, a lot of custom codes, a lot of vines. I included gyroids as well, and also some tools placed, but no quote-unquote items, except for one item, but I will show that to y'all later. It's in the back of the island, so it's a little special spot. But this is the entrance here that leads you into and up to resident services. So when you wake up here, all the gifts will be right here by the entrance. As you can see, Nook's Cranny is back there, but we're not going to head that way just yet. Let's head in this direction, which includes the tiny home, and I think I will show that to y'all right now. So I did not upgrade my home. I kept it in, I believe, the second upgrade, so kind of the largest it can be before it adds on rooms. I wanted to keep it in a tiny home here, but yes, all the primary colors, all the furniture is inside. You're not going to see any of these types of furniture outside anywhere because it's a no items island. But yes, this is the inside, the interior. And you might tell that there is a secret poster behind this plant. I won't get into the story. If you know, you know. All right, so that is the tiny home there. And then there is a watering can here in case you want to help me out with my crops. And I made it into a 2-tier farm. So there are crops up here and down below. I wanted to include gyroids because of the ambiance and sounds that they provide. And then here on the beach, hello Poncho, is my strawberry farm. And there's also a cute little flower petal basket here that you can pick up and use. So I think I'm going to carry this for a little bit. And I meant to show this earlier, but here's the map. Here's the map of Cardinal, what it looks like right now. And here is my character. And so we've got Stu, Hugh, Poncho, Bam, Lucha, Tom, Derwin, Wolfgang, Hornsby, and Axel. So all blue villagers except for Lucha. He is representing the Cardinal, the only red villager on the island, but I wanted to have all blue villagers because I've never done that before. I've never had specific color themed, I guess, villagers to this very specific. I know I did it on Solemn, but I had a few colors to work with, but this island was very narrowed down to all blue, except for Lucha being the only red villager. And there's the dream address again right there for you. But now that I've shown you that, I can get into the other parts of the island, and we're gonna move on this way. There's several places and several directions you can go. I added this little hop across there, so y'all could go in that direction, but I'm gonna head up this way. And we've got Stu and his house here. I'm not going to go into any of the villager homes, but all of the villager homes inside and out have been redesigned. So if you want to go check those out, you can. And I'm so happy that Lucha is here because he is going to be the only home that I go into. And there's a little bit of special equivalence to his house. And I will get into that once we go inside. So before I go into Lucha's interior here, I just want to give you a brief reasoning behind Cardinal and why it was designed the way it is and why it's been named the way it is, and Lucha himself as well. So Cardinals is something that I've always thought of in regards to my grandmother who passed away a year ago from when this video is live. So the day that you are watching this video it's been a year since she passed. And before she passed away, actually, in July last year, I reset the island, my previous autumn themed island, to start a new one. And I knew I wanted to name it Cardinal, and I didn't know how much this island was going to mean to me as I was designing it throughout the 13 months that it has taken. But it's kind of turned into a homage and designed with my grandmother in mind in a way, and only in small parts. So Cardinals has always been something that I think of when I think of her, and it was always a bird I would see outside of the windows at her house. And that's kind of where Lucha's home comes into play. So the kitchen behind me, the kitchen table here, and like where the TV is placed and the birds, everything here in this little tiny home is basically the layout and how my grandmother's kitchen is today. My grandfather still lives in that house, so it's still relevant. But this is basically the layout. And when I think of her, I thought of all the, the things that she would cook. She would make like tomato sandwiches was like a big thing at lunch. And she also had one of these kind of retro style VCR TVs right here where we would watch cartoons in the morning and you could see the birds outside. Like, cooking was always a big thing with my grandma, and so I wanted to make Lucha's home resemble her kitchen because it makes me think of her in particular. So the island as a whole is kind of an homage to her, and it's going to be my forever island, yes, but I wanted to design the whole thing and upload the dream address before doing the day-to-day activities on the island. So I'm super happy with how the island turned out. But yeah, that's basically the whole premise and reasoning behind the island as a whole. And now let's get into the rest of the tour. All right, so you kind of saw some of Lucha's yard, but like I said, a lot of natural things. I wanted to include a garden, specifically included some tomatoes here because, like I said, tomato sandwiches is something I think of when I think of my grandma. And then you go across this bridge down here, and we'll go down south and then we'll go up again. So down this way, I kept the beaches very minimal, very natural, scattered around a few things here. And then here is the pier. There is a fishing rod here if you want to go fishing. Oh, and I also use critters as well as part of decor. So I've got a few things in buckets. I've got a fly underneath a glass here, and you'll see some other more creepy critters as we go up further. Oh yeah, I forgot. I've got one of these giant, what are they called? Oarfish? I didn't know what it looked like when you placed it, and I kind of like this giant water tank. It's almost like a, I don't know, one of those above ground pools. But here is Derwin's house, and he's got farm as well. You'll see farms is a very consistent theme because, you know, when you don't have items to work with, when in doubt, add a farm. That's basically my reasoning behind it. And then moving on up this way, you've got a little pinwheel that you can pick up here, and then also a wetsuit because in fact you can jump off of this cliff into the water. It does work. So that's the whole point of this. I wanted to bring back things that you would see in early games. So like whenever the whole diving aspect thing came about, people started building cliffs like this so that they can jump off into the ocean. And so I wanted to include that on the island as well. And I spoke about scary creatures. Well, here is one right here. It's one of these giant spider crabs. It's the only one I've caught so far, so I will unfortunately have to donate it to Blathers because I do want to finish the museum. But for now, he's here as decor. I'm gonna call him Herman. So there's little Herman there with his little Herman pals as well. But moving on up the beach, natural things as well, a lot of coconuts, some other critters and buckets, a shovel here, and then to kind of commemorate fireworks season, even though the island is set in March, I included some little sparklers here. I'm gonna carry around this ice cream cone for the rest of the tour until I find something new. All right, so moving on up. And we already have a new item to hold around, a red balloon right here. But this is Hugh's house, and again, when in doubt, at a farm. And he is in charge of the apple orchard, which is right over here. Moving forward, I'm going to add the rest of the fruit to the island, but to stay on theme with the primary colors, I had to just have the red fruit, and apples are the island fruit, so Hugh is in charge of those. Before we go on up that way, I think that'll be the last place I go to. Oh, hello me. Hey y'all is the thing that I always say. And like I mentioned earlier, you will kind of match with me when you visit, even though you're wearing long overalls. My character is wearing the little skirt version. And I wanted to use more bridges on the island, so I did a lot of small little islands and then connected them to the rest of the island, I guess, via bridges, and this wooden bridge in particular because it's kind of flat as well. And yeah, I wanted to utilize a lot of waterscaping, and you'll see a lot more of that in the tour further down because, you know, you don't have a lot of options when you're not using items, I come to realize. And so I also used a lot of water. When in doubt, add a farm, and also add water, I guess, would be an addition to that. So this is Poncho's house. And he lives near the shops. So we've got Able Sisters up here. And then Nook's Cranny is right behind Resident Services over here. And I think I'm gonna go in this direction. Here is the campsite. Have a book here and some shoes. Like I said, utilizing everything but items. So there's only a few things you can work with when you don't use those. And then here is a farm on the beach, of course, because, you know, when in doubt, add a farm, y'all. Add a farm. A lonesome little gyroid over here. And there's vines everywhere, of course. And so you can climb up on any of these cliffs. There's not much to see, but if you want to have some interesting views like this here, then climb up the cliffs and you'll be able to see those. So you can pretty much reach anything because I've added vines everywhere, but you do have a ladder and a vaulting pole in case you get stuck somewhere, of course. So we've got a farm over here. Just a few things. Maybe somebody took their sandals off and went swimming. And then across the way, across this bridge here, this is one of my south-facing watermouths. This is a 2 south-facing watermouth island. But as you can tell in the back, there are a lot of waterscaped areas. And this is Tom's house. Like I had mentioned earlier, all of the homes inside and out have been decorated. Another little fishing spot over here on the rocks. Maybe somebody fished up a boot, because, you know, that does happen in Animal Crossing. And then back here is Axel's house. Carry around this little donut for a while, why not? And then he's got a farm as well, and some waterfalls behind his house, and another farm. Kind of that 2-tier farm again. He's got it up here. Then moving on up the beach, we've got like a little pond to the left, and we'll move on up this way before I head back towards the campsite again. And then up here, you've got some more sparklers if you want to utilize these and have fun with more sparklers on these rocks. I wasn't sure what to do with these rocks in the back, and so I basically just added gyroids and fireworks because it's a lot easier to see fireworks at the back of the island if you know. And then I added these as well, so I think I'm gonna put both of these on. All right, so I'm gonna head back down towards the campsite and we will pick this tour back up. All right, back to the campsite area. But I did want to showcase this spot, or I guess all of these bridges as well, because on my map you can see a lot of that waterscaping that I had mentioned. I used a lot of water on this island, and so for this area, kind of similar to where Poncho's house is, I've got 3 bridges back to back to back, and some small islands that you can hang out on as well. I wanted to use a lot of waterscaping, and so I wasn't sure what to do in this area, but I knew I wanted to use 3 bridges, and you have to have so much land in between the bridges as well, so I had to have at least this much space in between to add these bridges like this. And I'll add Sparksby's YouTube channel down below because she actually is where this whole idea came from. She's working on an island right now that utilizes several bridges. I think she used 4 of them. So I want to give credit to where credit is due. I got this idea from her, so go check her out and subscribe to her if you haven't. Now I've got a nice little sports drink to carry around. Like I said, many items for you to pick up. If you head in the right direction, you'll head towards the beaches that we looked at earlier where the fireworks were. But let's head on up this incline here and you'll see, hello Tom, that I have a rock garden and also a blue balloon that I'm gonna carry around. I'm just showing y'all all the nice little tools and things you can pick up so that you don't miss it when you come. But I wanted to create a functional rock garden. So yes, this is an actual functional rock garden. So I can hit these rocks, get my bells for the day, get my materials. Even though this little gyroid is in the center, he does not get in the way of any of the materials that I pick up. And also a functional spot to dig up my fossils. So I have a shovel here that you can pick up as well. So you can pick up and dig up the fossils and the gyroids that spawn. So you know you always have a certain amount of gyroids if it rains, and then 4 to 6 fossils that will spawn anywhere on your island. Well, there are things everywhere on the island where the fossils would not grow except for in this area here. So if every day, if I want to find my fossils for the day, they will always spawn in this spot. So this is the only area, and I'm taking a page out of List the Lasses book, and I will add their YouTube channel down below. They did something very similar to this on their island as well. My rocks are right over here, and all my fossils are right over here. So right after I dig up the fossils, I literally go down this incline to the museum and donate my fossils. It's so simple. It is so simple, and I'm so glad I did it this way. But moving on up this way is the rest of the villager homes on the island. We've got Wolfgang here. He's got like a little fishing pond here, and then there's also a dumbbell that you can pick up because, you know, Wolfgang's all about fishing and working out. And if you wanted to see all of the villager homes come together, I'll include the past 2 streams in the description box below where I designed them. So if, for instance, Wolfgang is not here when you come and visit, then you can watch that stream and watch the whole build come together. And then we've got Hornsby's house here, and you got a popsicle to pick up outside of his home. And then we've got Bam here at the very end with a goldfish in front of his house. This is not an item, y'all. This is a critter. It is a goldfish. But moving on down from there, we will go to the last area on the island. This tour has actually been really fast because there's not a whole lot to see. It's just a lot of nature, y'all. Not very special, but it has taken, like I said, 13 months to get to this point. It's been very tedious. So bear with me. Before I go to all of that glowing moss back there, that'll be the last place I go to. I'm going to show you the secret beach over here, and just included a few things. Got a bucket over here, got a little gyroid friend, and of course some seaweed. But there is the road or path leading up to the secret beach. If you head in this direction, you'll head on towards Hugh's house in the orchard. If you go this way, you'll head to Poncho's house. But the last place on the island, and the last place I wanted to kind of end the tour off, was around this pond, specifically on the right side. As you can tell, this is the only area on the island that has glowing moss and these star fragments as well. And it all leads up to this, which is the only item on the island. It is this tombstone here and the Cosmo, the red Cosmo in particular. I wanted to include a red Cosmo in front of the tombstone, but if you didn't already know or guess based on kind of the theming and the homage of what this island is for or who this island is for, it's for my grandmother who passed away a year ago today as to when you are seeing this island tour. And so this tombstone is for her. This is basically my homage to her at the back back of the island. Back here, I wasn't sure if I wanted to include an actual tombstone or not, or just have this like magical area of glowing moss here for her. But in the end, I decided that this was going to be the only item, technically only item on the island, but overall this island was for her. And so I wanted this area back here to be magical, to, I don't know, just to bring some life to it. And when you've got glowing moss all around, you know, it's very magical. It brings a lot of life to the island back here, and so I wanted this to be a space for her. Overall, this island was for her, and I don't want to talk about it too much longer, because it'll be tough for me to continue talking without crying. So I'm not gonna do it. Not today, Lockleth. No, not doing it. So as I run back, I just want to say that this has been such a long process, but I've enjoyed every bit of it. I am super happy with how the whole island has turned out, and I couldn't be happier with the end product. And this is gonna be an island that I keep forever now, and I'm super happy to have this dream address be up for y'all to come visit. Please share all of your pictures with me on Instagram, on Twitter, or X as we might be calling it now. I also have Threads. You know, just share your pictures with me, tag me, please. I would love to see you running around this colorful, very natural themed island that I basically created on behalf of my grandma. And so it's been a tough year. A lot of change has occurred. But like I said, I'm super happy with the end product. Thank you again for sticking with me if you've come to streams and watched this island come together. I really, truly appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell if you've enjoyed this island tour, and share all of those photos of yourselves visiting on the island with me. My socials will be in the description box below, including all of the custom codes, and the creators will be credited in my website, my card. By the time I upload this, all of the creators should be added to that. And if not, within the next week, they will be on there. So thank y'all so much for watching.